Hey guys, welcome to the podcast of the goal difference. Okay, so the goal difference is this was an idea that was originated back in 2014, but due to some circumstances we couldn't do it. So now during the lockdown, we've decided to start this video podcast of basically preparing our fantasy Premier League teams. We are a bunch of friends who play football together, and we play FPL as well. We spend a lot of time discussing FPL, so we thought why not put it out there to all of y'all to see as well. So my name is Arun Raghavan and I support Chelsea. I have with me Ashish Malla, who's a Liverpool supporter, Sumit Suresh, who's a United supporter, Manchester United, Sairam Subramaniam, who supports Chelsea as well, Abhinav Rajgopal, who supports Chelsea as well, and we have Sriram Srinivasan and Aniket Mirji supporting Liverpool and Arsenal respectively, who are not on this call right now today. They will be joining us for future podcast videos. So let me just explain to you how this works basically. So we will be competing in mini leagues across in all the different leagues as well, and we will be putting the goal difference team as well. So each aspect of each formation would be put to a vote, and just to make things a little interesting, each of us have made four different teams so that we the most common players will already be in the squad, and we'll fill our remaining squad with different players that we will discuss on. Each aspect will put to a vote. So I'd like Sumit Suresh to take over now, and he'd be showing you this.
All right, guys. So first, we're going to go ahead with our respective drafts. So I'm going to start with Abhinav. Abhinav, so what's your 15?
Yeah. So my ideology always of keeping a fantasy Premier League is to always select keepers who are cheap and see something you don't have to worry about due to injury. So my only reason to change a keeper is maybe due to injury. So I've gone for Ramsdale from Sheffield, and my second choice keeper will be Nyland from Aston Villa.
Okay, you can continue. You can continue. I'll be just filling in the team till then.
Yeah, okay. So coming to defense again, key parameters. Yes, we are all aware that City and United do not start the season. So keeping that in mind and keeping that both of them are so both of them have players which we will immediately be drafting in. I've gone for a defense which is more clean sheet oriented and more defensive oriented. So my defensive choices right now are Kyle Walker-Peters. He's a right back for Southampton, and the advantage of having a right backs and left backs is they do have potential for attacking returns as well. And he has shown great form last year when he was on loan with them, and now that he's permanently with them. My next pick is Toby Alderweireld from the Spurs, because we all know Jose Mourinho and defense is something that we commonly associated, and Tottenham have a very favorable run at the start. So Toby Alderweireld would be a certain starter. Next would be Vinagre from Wolves. Now that Vinagre would be a first choice starter with the injury to Johnny, he would fit in my team. Again, Wolves have considerably good fixtures, barring probably the City game in game week 2. They have a very good start this season. Next would be Charlie Taylor from Burnley. Burnley are known for their defense, especially at the turf node. So I would go with Charlie Taylor, again, reason citing left back and potential attacking returns, which he displayed last season as well. My last defender would be Mitchell from Palace. Again, not a defender which I would want to play every single week, but he at 4 million gives me the flexibility of keeping him on the bench and probably playing him only when he has a very easy home game. So that is my defense. Coming to the midfield, the first choice, the obvious choice would be the main man from Liverpool, Mo Salah. Free kicks, penalties, he does it all, and he also has a very favorable run. So Mo Salah would surely be a part of the team. The next would be Aubameyang from Arsenal. So again, easy fixtures now that he is reclassified as a midfielder. So more returns, especially in the last 2 years, he was been listed as a forward. So now another point for a goal and possibly 10 to 12 clean sheets potentially in the year would give him a more lucrative return on investment. So I would surely have him. One differential which I want to probably take right at the start is Ziyech from Chelsea. He's not a player which most people will own. We have seen him in the last year doing well in the Dutch league as well. Now with Chelsea, making complete changes to their team, I think he would fit in well on the right of midfield, and he would pose a real threat. And he would not be selected at the start. So the squad does provide a pure differential for managers who want to choose that. The fourth midfielder would then be James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. Southampton have a real favourable run. They do play attacking football as well. And James Ward-Prowse is pretty much the centre of it. He takes all set pieces, penalties and free kicks for them. So that would also be an additional bonus. So he would surely be a part of the team. The fifth midfielder would be Bissouma from Brighton. So essentially, the fifth midfielder is often someone you always keep in the 4.5 or 5 million range who can come on and give you 2 to 3 points. So on research, Bissouma does fit in well because worst case scenario, he would always come and give us 2 to 3 points. Now going to the forwards. As you can see, I've kindly kept it balanced. I've not kept a midfield very stacked or a defense very stacked. So same way for the forwards. Go for Jamie Vardy, proven striker in the Premier League in the last 5 to 6 years. Scores 18 to 20 goals on an average. Again, favourable fixtures at the start does help. So he would surely be a part of my team. The next would be Raul Jimenez from Wolves. Again, very consistent, and Wolves do play attacking football and favourable fixtures as well. And he also does take penalties, which would also add to the tally. So that would be my second striker. And third would be slightly a differential, not a common choice, but I would like to go for Calvert-Lewin from Everton. Everton, since the change of manager and Carlo Ancelotti coming to manage them, they have shown immense talent in attacking and playing, scoring more goals. So again, considerably easier fixtures at the start has prompted me to choose him, and I think he would be a great bet along with Richarlison and the other attacking midfielders that they have in their squad. So this is going to be my 15 for the first game.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I mean, your team looks pretty balanced and it looks interesting. I especially like the Vardy Jimenez picks, and you've actually used all 100 million. So, wow, nice. Let's see what happens.
So I would essentially go either for a 4-4-2 or a 3-4-3 depending on the game week. So this would be my preferred formations.
Nice. Awesome. All right. So let's go on to our next manager, FPL manager. Ashish, what's the team you're playing up with?
Right. So I'm going to start with, I guess you can just clear the squad first.
I'll be clearing it as you go on because it'll just take time. So it's cool.
Sure. No problem. So the first one I'll go for is McCarthy from Southampton. I think Southampton finished last season very strongly, and they're going to be a pretty good, strong team under Hasenhüttl. So I like McCarthy from Southampton there. The second one's going to be Nyland from Aston Villa, because they sold Pepe Reina, and I'm actually not entirely sure if Nyland or Steer is going to be second choice, but I'll keep a close, kind of track on what happens and who starts the preseason fixtures. But for now, it's Nyland. In defense, I would like to go for Eric Dyer because, as Abhinav said, Jose Mourinho teams keep clean sheets, and it's his second season. So, and I think Eric Dyer plays as centre back, and he's favoured by Jose Mourinho, so it makes sense to keep him there. One person I cannot make my FPL team about is Trent. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan, as you can see in my background, and he's an assist machine. So he's someone who you can just put in your team and forget for the entire season. At 7.5 million, with someone who gives more than 200 points with so many assists, he's a no-brainer for me. The next one is Kyle Walker-Peters. The same reason, he's from Southampton. He's a youngster. He's a fullback, and Southampton's run at the start is fairly straightforward. Lascelles from Newcastle. Again, he's the captain of Newcastle. Newcastle are a fairly defensive team under Steve Bruce. Good run of fixtures. Lastly, Mitchell from Crystal Palace. Now, he's at least someone who, at 4 million to kind of round up my team within the 100 million budget, I had to sacrifice on a little bit. But from what I hear, he will start games, at least at the start of the season. So I've taken him for now. I guess moving on to my midfield, number one is Aubameyang. Now again, he's a forward who's going to score quite a few goals, and he gives us that extra boost by being a midfielder because midfielders get additional points for goals. And if I'm correct, he's been the Golden Boot winner. Not was it last year as well? Last in the year before that. So maybe not last year, but yeah, very strong with the goals and in good form. So I'll take him, and he's going to be my captain for game week 1. The next one's going to be Sadio Mane. I think the choice here was between Mane and Salah. The reason I did not take Salah is because I'm a Liverpool fan. I've been watching the preseason fixtures and he seems a bit off form for now. So I'd rather have Sadio Mane in my team. The next one is Son. I like Spurs' run of fixtures quite a bit. Again, I think most of us are stifled by the fact that Man City and United don't play the first game week. If they were, my choices would be slightly different. But for now, Son makes the team. We have Saint-Maximin next from Newcastle. Now, Saint-Maximin seems like one of those players who is almost like a magician on the ball. He creates a lot of chances, but his finishing lets him down. But towards the end of the season, I saw him upping his game a bit and his finishing. So he's definitely someone I fancy for the season, at 5.5 especially. And the last one's a bit more of a practical choice. It's Bissouma. He's 4.5 million, the cheapest midfielder I could find who actually starts games. So yeah, Bissouma it is. Well, moving on to my forward line, I think I'm going to firstly choose Harry Kane. Well, Harry Kane, I think, was injured and towards the tail end of last season, and he only made it towards the end of last season due to COVID and the delay in the season and stuff like that. But I think this season he's going to come fit and firing. I think under Jose Mourinho, he is the focal point of the attack, and yeah, I think even the signing of Doherty is going to be more to kind of provide those crosses for a Harry Kane to finish. So 100% Harry Kane's a good choice with the opening run of fixtures. The second one is actually Richarlison. It's a bit of a differential. I think Everton are going under the radar a little bit right now. They just signed Alan from Napoli. They're signing James Rodriguez from Real Madrid. They got Carlo Ancelotti as their manager. And yeah, and their run of fixtures are pretty strong. So Richarlison. And the last one's a bit of a wild card. I'm not entirely sure if this person will start, but Keenan Davis from Aston Villa. He started a few games towards the end of last season. He's a young striker, and every time I see him, any other matches that I follow, he's pretty strong. His all-round game is pretty strong. So I would take a bet on him. Yeah, so that's about it. I would like to go for a 4-4-2 formation for now. And yeah, that's the formation I will go for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mala. I'm actually surprised. There's no Mane, Salah, and Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah,
I was expecting you to triple up on. I was expecting you to triple up on Liverpool. Actually, being the Liverpool fan, you are like, I was expecting Salah instead of Aubameyang, but fair enough. You've kept FPL as a priority, so good on you. Yeah. All right. So
always
our next
Liverpool fan, Sumit.
Yeah, I can see the background. It's cool. All right. So our next FPL manager would be Arun. Arun, what's your team?
Okay, so I've gone for Alex McCarthy as well. I believe in keeping a 4.5 million keeper set and forget. And my second choice keeper would be Nyland from Aston Villa. And although, as Ashish said, that Steer could start, we don't know that. So we'll be keeping a close eye on Aston Villa's future in friendly games since Reina has moved to Lazio. So I think I will keep Nyland for now and McCarthy since Hasenhüttl has really revitalized that Southampton back line. And even if he doesn't give clean sheets, it's surely going to get covered up with the save points. So that should be the perfect, way to go and cheap out on your keeper. The next player I would take is Matt Doherty. Okay, so he's moved to Spurs. He was excellent at Wolves. He is going to be Jose Mourinho's main man. And if I don't know if you all have seen the Spurs documentary, the 3 episodes that have come out, he's told Aurier to bomb forward in many of those scenes in that. So if someone like Aurier can get assists and goals, just imagine what Doherty would do. So that's why I've gone for Matt Doherty. I've also gone for John Egan from Sheffield United. He has kept a lot of clean sheets last season, and after the restart, he's been one of the highest performing defenders. He scored 2 goals in 2 consecutive games as well. So that's why I'm going to go for John Egan. And Chris Wilder is a great manager at organizing defenses. So John Egan would be ideal for my team. I've also gone for Jamal Lascelles, captain of Newcastle. They are good in home games, not that good in away games. So I would like a little bit of a mix-up in my bench as well with taking Ruben Vinagre. So I could swap Vinagre for Lascelles whenever they have an easier fixture in using the proper combination. Since Johnny is injured for Wolves, so I'd go for that combination. And the 4 million defender that I've picked was Tyreek Mitchell from Crystal Palace. Patrick Van Aanholt suffered an injury in the end of the restart, and I guess Mitchell would start at left back. Although there were rumors that Nathan Ferguson could also be playing for Palace, but he suffered an injury as well. So everyone's going to go for Tyreek Mitchell right now. Okay, moving on to midfield, I've gone for James Ward-Prowse. Okay, so he's a 6 million midfielder playing for Southampton. He's done well in preseason. He takes free kicks, he takes corners, he's the main man for Southampton apart from Danny Ings, obviously. And I needed somebody cheap in midfield, so that I could go with more attacking players from better teams. So my next midfield option would be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who would also be my captain for game week 1 because he ended last season on fire. And he scored 2 goals against City, 2 against Chelsea in the FA Cup final, 2 against Watford in the end, and 1 in the Community Shield against the best defense in Liverpool. So I think Aubameyang is the man to go for, and I prefer having somebody with form over fixtures, I guess. So I think Aubameyang should be a good shout for that. And I've gone with Son since he's a little towards the premium, but he's not budget as well. So I wanted to balance my team. Plus Jose Mourinho plays Son in the forward position at times, and I didn't have the cash to take Harry Kane, so I wanted to balance my team by having a Spurs midfielder as well. So I've gone for that, and my last 2 options would be Mo Salah from Liverpool. See, he always goes in game week 1. I'm a bit of a I see history as well, so Mo Salah always goes in game week 1. So I want him in my team since he's playing Bielsa's Leeds, and his run from game week 4 till onwards is excellent. So I'm going to keep him in my team for good. After that, my last midfielder would be Stephens from Brighton. I know Bissouma is the more popular pick, but Stephens is the ever consistent man, and I'd like to have him in my team since he's consistently we call him the 2-point man, so he's always there in our teams. So yeah, with that completing my midfield, I'd like to move up front with the main striker Jamie Vardy. The first time I've seen him actually be above 9 million in FPL, and it's a good change, I guess. And he's consistent. He always scores around 18 to 20 goals a season, playing for Leicester City. Plus Brendan Rodgers plays like beautiful attacking football, so I think that should help. Hopefully, he's back, and Madison is back with providing him the assists. So go there. I think I've chosen Salah, not Saint Maximin. I've chosen Salah.
Oh, okay, my bad. That was even
Yeah.
a mistake.
Yeah, no problem. That's cool. My second striker would be Timo Werner. So yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan, and I've taken him because of the fixtures, not because I want a Chelsea player in my team as such. But yeah, I mean the fixtures are easy, and for 9.5 million, I think he's a good bet. And Lampard plays attacking football as well, so I think he'd be a good shout. I needed a Chelsea attacker in my team too, and so that's why I took him. And my last option would be Kieran Davis from Aston Villa, since he is going to start for them and he's going to score goals. So that's why I picked him. You can also keep an eye for Ryan Brewster from Liverpool, who might go out on loan, another 4.5 million cheap striker. So I think that is also an option, but I've gone for Davis as of now. Wait for Brewster's loan move to materialize. So I think that's my team as of now. So yeah.
No, nice. That's a good team. I'm actually surprised there's no Liverpool defense, not even Trent, nor Robertson, or Van Dijk. But I guess you've gone heavy on the midfield and and on forwards.
Forward line, yeah.
Which is fair enough. That's not a bad team at all. All right, Sai, you're up next.
Yeah. Can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so for my team, for the goal difference, I'll start with my formation. I always think that 3-4-3 is the most preferred formation in terms of overall point output. And in terms of balance, I think in the previous seasons, I have given a good balance to defense, midfield, and forward. But I genuinely feel that for this season, we are supposed to go all guns blazing on the midfielders just because of the sheer potential there is. But let me start off with the goalkeepers. McCarthy from Southampton. That's an obvious choice given the fixtures that he has and his value. I think he'll be a very good potential for the team. My second goalkeeper would be Nyland for the reasons that everyone else has already stated. Moving on to my defense. Moving on to my defense, I think having one expensive defender is probably a must, and that's why I went for Doherty. Not Trent Alexander, I understand, but I think given Doherty plays for a Jose Mourinho team, I think Doherty would have the extra potential to give returns as well compared to his price. My second pick would be Vinagre, who I don't know would be playing as a fullback or as a wingback, but I see him at least giving the points for clean sheets just because Wolves have a great defense overall. My third defender would be Egan. And again, this is more to do with Sheffield's entire defense than Egan. I obviously know that Egan has given a lot of points once the restart has happened. And that is again one of the reasons I chose him. My fourth defender would be Branthwaite from Everton. And again, my fourth and fifth defenders are just fillers who I don't expect them to play anyway, but they're just there. And probably as the game weeks progress, I would see which 4 million defender would be the best possible person who maybe gives a point or two every game week. My fifth defender would be Douglas.
Douglas?
Yes.
Douglas is?
From Leeds.
Sorry? From Leeds?
Leeds.
Yeah, cool. Oh, wow. That's a very interesting pick. I didn't know about Douglas. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I chose him is because most of the other FPL managers have chosen him. So I just went with that.
Oh, you basically clicked on the percentage selection and went on Douglas.
Correct. I think when you can't think a lot, just go for that option, which is the most easiest and the last resort.
Got it. All right.
Coming to my midfielders, like I said, I've gone all guns blazing. My first midfielder is Aubameyang. Again, for the reasons that everyone else has already spoken about, he's basically a striker who's been reclassified as a midfielder. Yes, he does come in from the left wing to the center, but doesn't matter as long as he's getting the goals and the assists. I'm all okay with Aubameyang. The second midfielder that I would be choosing is Kevin De Bruyne. I know he doesn't start in the first game week, but I'm looking at more long term than first game week. The third midfielder is Bruno. That's again because he's a penalty man, and Manchester United are known to get a lot of penalties by hook or by crook. I'm not stating anything for a fact over here, but as long as he's getting the goals through penalties, otherwise I'm okay. The fourth midfielder is Saint-Maximin. I think after the project restart, he's been really good, and I think he'll continue the form this season as well. He may just turn out to be the breakout star this season. The fifth midfielder who won't be starting my lineup would be Bissouma. Again, just a 2-point man. As long as he plays. If he doesn't play, then maybe a Stephens, who is again a 2-point man, would be coming in place of him. The first forward that I would go with is Timo Werner, and this is not just because I'm a Chelsea fan. It's also because I truly believe that Werner can be a differential. He has already scored in a preseason and in the international fixture as well. I think that he is a striker that Chelsea have always craved for, and given the potential and the quality of people around him, I generally feel that he will score a lot of goals for Chelsea. My second striker would be Ings, again because he's been the most consistent forward, probably in my opinion, last season. Especially with a team like Southampton, I think he's going to continue that form this season as well. My third forward is Mitrovic. That is, again, because I couldn't think of any striker below 6 million. And the only thing I could do is to see who has chosen, the most let's say, cheaper option as a forward in everyone's team, and I think Mitrovic stood out over there in that aspect. So
Okay.
yeah, this is my team, and my formation, like I'd already stated, was 3-4-3. I would probably keep Aubameyang as my first game week captain for now.
I'm actually very interested to see how you're going to fare in game week 1, seeing that you're not going to have two players from your midfield itself not
Correct.
playing, So it's going to be
Yeah,
interesting to watch.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you're basically starting a foot backwards, but fair enough. You're ready. We don't have to do transfers for game week 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
You're
because
just ready
see,
with the
if
team.
I don't mind, starting off on a back foot rather than, people not playing in game week 2 or 3 and not performing, that, brings additional risk to my team. And then I don't want to, go and, use my wild card in game week 3 or 4 itself, because that I think is a bit too short-sighted.
Fair enough. Got it. All right. So our next FPL manager is Sriram. Sriram, what do you have for us?
Yeah, hi. Firstly, I'm extremely sorry I'm not putting on my webcam on. There's some technical glitch. So, yeah, coming to my team, the goalkeepers that I've gone with are Bernd Leno and Matt Ryan. Bernd Leno, I think, will be a good addition this time around because Arsenal have strengthened their central defense partnership. They have brought in Saliba and Gabriel, and I think they will be definitely faring this time. They'll be faring better, and I'm sure that they'll keep a lot more clean sheets this time around. And Ryan, I think, is a good, solid goalkeeper. He makes a lot of saves. Coming to the defense, I have Matt Doherty. I think he's been amazing for Wolves last season, and I think it's a brilliant signing for Spurs for 12 million. I think it's a steal. So he's quick, he scores goals, he crosses, he gets a lot of assists. So I think it's a brilliant signing for Spurs, and they also have a set of good fixtures coming up. So taken in Doherty. And I have Bertrand and Bednarek. I have gone with two Southampton defenders at the start because they have a very good run in the first 6 or 7 game weeks. So I think there is scope for a lot of clean sheets, and they play some good football. So I'm backing Bertrand and Bednarek to keep a couple of clean sheets at least at the start. And I haven't invested much in defense, in all honesty. Then the other two defenders that I have are Webster and Le Marchand. So these two are also pretty solid, and as I said, I'm not investing much in defense. So I've just gone with options that are 4.5 and 5. Only Doherty is the only expensive defender that I have. Coming to the midfielders,
So
I have Mo Salah.
Le Marchand is which team? I'm
Le
sorry,
Marchand is Fulham.
Fulham. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's good to see people actually going to Fulham and Leeds in order to get players, man.
Yeah, I think he's a good defender. He has Premier League experience, and I see him doing pretty well this time because he's experienced.
Nice. All right. Okay, so midfield.
So midfield, I've gone with Mo Salah. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I've been watching some of the preseason games. I know that he's looked out of form, but I completely back him to come back to form once we have the likes of Trent and Robertson back. I see him coming back to his former self. Then I've taken Aubameyang and Saka. I've gone with both of them. Aubameyang, of course, is a proven goal scorer, and I back him to continue his goal scoring form this time around as well. And Saka, I feel Mikel Arteta has eased him in very well, and I see him starting a lot of games this time and going on to become a valuable asset for Arsenal. And the final two midfielders that I have are Greenwood and Foden. I know this is a bit of a risk and a gamble that I'm taking, but Greenwood has started most of the games after Project Restart, and I just back him to start every game actually because he's done very well, and he's been one of the more outstanding players for Manchester United after Project Restart. And Foden as well, after the departure of David Silva, I think he'll start most of the games. And I know that these two are not playing in the first game week, but I've just looked at it from like a long run perspective, so that I don't have to make a lot of changes going forward. And when it comes to the forwards, I have Harry Kane. Harry Kane, of course, another guy who's flourished under Jose Mourinho. He scored a lot of goals, and he's been an instrumental figure for them. So I think with Spurs also having a good set of fixtures, I think he'll do very well this time around. And usually is not that good at the start of the season when you look at it historically, but I back him to do well this time. And to end, I have Mitrovic and Ayu. Again, Mitrovic is a nice, I mean, he's good in the air and he's strong and he scores dirty goals. So I think I can expect the same this time around as well from Mitrovic, scoring those dirty goals and being strong in the air and getting those headers in. So I think he's a good buy for £6 million. And Jordan Ayew as well. He had a very good season last season, and even if he chips in with around 10 to 12 goals this season, I think he would have done a good job for me. So this is my team.
Nice. Looks like a pretty decent team. Good plan.
I actually like the fact that you have Foden, because that could be a real differential. It's just
it looks like a really different.
I didn't take Foden because of the arrival of Torres, but it's exciting to see where things will go from
I
here.
actually really like the fact how Pep Guardiola eased him in when David Silva was there. He must have learned a lot from Silva, and after Silva's departure, I'm sure that he's going to play a much more instrumental role now that he's even an England senior. I'm sure that he's going to take that next step forward and go ahead and score a lot of goals for City this season.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm coming back to my team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely draft in my players and then explain the reasoning behind it. I guess it would be easier that way. So just a second, just give me some time.
I can already see that Ashish and Sriram have chosen Kane.
I think Aubameyang, right, is one more. Sorry.
Yeah, Aubameyang is something which we.
No, Aubameyang was an obvious choice for everybody, but I don't know. I think I got cut in between. I was saying, any reservations you have with Kane, given that he usually doesn't perform in the first 3-4 game weeks. At least he
I
has.
think that has already happened in Project Restart.
The only reservation I had
usually is
was
August.
because
That's usually is August sort of a curse, but this time Premier League starting from the month
Starting in
of September.
September.
his August curse was broken two years in a row, I guess. Last year he scored in game week 1, 2 goals.
Yeah, that has.
Yeah,
And also he has a favorable run, so I think considering
the only reservation I have for Kane is they play the Europa League fixture, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Son is
Yeah.
more consistent, so maybe that's the reason. But I didn't go for Kane.
Yeah, the Europa League is definitely something.
Qualifiers, they have to play them early. So
Yeah. Sum, show your bias by taking at least one Liverpool player. Your lack of bias, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is one Liverpool. There is Trent. That's it.
Okay, fine.
I'll take it. That's where it's going to end. Unfortunately.
I'll take it. I've taken two myself. So.
Doherty is also like a very popular pick amongst individual teams. I think that's a fairly obvious choice. Is just that I don't know if he'll be as effective as a right back.
I took Doherty because of the documentary. Major part of my influencing the decision was that documentary.
Yeah,
because Aurier, if someone like Aurier can do so well, imagine what Doherty will do. That's why. That's the only reasoning. Otherwise, I would have gone for a Liverpool defender, and I wanted Van Dijk, but I wanted Egan as well, so I had to balance it out over there. That's why I took Doherty, which is not a bad option at all.
All right, guys. So this is my team. So my basic concept of FPL when it comes to defenders and goalkeepers are always that I need a minimum of 6 points. Anything more than that, like an assist or a goal is just a bonus for me. And I always like to keep rotating keepers because, like I said, I want those 6 points, and I feel those 6 points are very important as you keep going down the game weeks. So I've gone for Ramsdale and Pope. Ramsdale because, like Arun said, Chris Wilder is just brilliant in managing defenses. Yes, he's not Henderson, and they may not keep a clean sheet consistently. That's exactly why I've gone for Pope, who's been the golden boy as for keepers all these years. He's been just brilliant behind the stick. So those are my two options for keeper. Now when I come back to my defenders, Trent Alexander, I just feel that he should be there. I could go with another 4 million defenders, but I would always keep Trent as my first choice because he does everything. He gives assists, he scores goals. He's there on free kicks. He's on short free kicks, corners, everything. So he is my choice. Then Saliba is a punt that I would say I've taken because I feel with Leno back and with Arteta, the signings that he's done, Arsenal will be like defensively more solid this season, and they have two easy fixtures to start off with. So that's why I've started off with Saliba. Wan-Bissaka, well, being a United fan and seeing that last year we were pretty much disciplined, other than very stupid errors, I feel that we would do very well with terms to clean sheets. Dyer, well, I mean, you have Jose who's managing Spurs, the park the bus philosophy. So I needed a Spurs player. I actually wanted Doherty, but unfortunately don't have the funds for it. Dunk, well, Graham Potter this season, from what I've seen in the preseason games, they have been playing 5 at the back with 3 central defenders. So I would take Dunk as my last defender, as you know, he's pretty good. Going to midfield, I have chosen Ziyech as my first choice because I feel Chelsea will be very, very good attacking this season. Also, with the arrival of Kai Havertz, you have Ziyech, Pulisic, Havertz, and Werner. So I'm expecting Ziyech to give a lot more points compared to the other two because he's more creative. Saint-Maximin, well, I mean, because of the restart last season, he was just pure adrenaline to watch, enjoy to watch. Like, I think it was one of the reasons why Newcastle, I think, finished 10th or 11th last season. He was just brilliant with it. Moving on, the next choice is Son. I mean, I just felt Son and I think Harry Kane were the two must-haves from the Spurs team because mainly Son is because mainly they have really good fixtures, and I feel that they might score like 1 or 2 goals, but I feel if it's these Son and Kane are the ones who are going to produce them. Willian, now I know a lot of people will be surprised with Willian because you have Nicolas Pepe and Aubameyang, especially like a lot of people will be like, why not Aubameyang? But I am personally not a big fan of Aubameyang. I feel he's very inconsistent. I feel that paying 12 million for him and keeping an FPL team is really pointless. Yes, Golden Boot winner. Yes, he gives, when he goes on the runs, he does, but it's like he will give you points for 2 games and blank for 3 game weeks and then again, give you points. I feel Willian is a good choice because Willian will be back on set pieces and, there's a lot of assist potential in that. Oriol Romeu is just a filler for me. It's just because I wanted 4 midfielders and to save money. Now, going back to my forwards, well, Harry Kane. Now, Harry Kane, like I said, the fixtures and the only strike choice that they have, I feel Harry Kane is essential. Richarlison for me, well, with the signings that Carlo is doing, Don Carlo he is, and the attacking football that he plays, I feel Richarlison is more important than Calvert-Lewin or Sigurdsson because Richarlison has that free roaming, given to him where he can just he plays deep, he sometimes plays forward, so you can always get an assist and goal out of him. Rodrigo, well, let's just say it's like another punt that I've taken. I just feel that's a very interesting signing, and I actually like Marco Bielsa. He's a very interesting manager, and I feel he would do very good against Bielsa. Also, I have saved 2.5 million. That's exactly why I don't have Salah and Mane. I basically want in game week 2 to either switch to a Kevin De Bruyne or a Bruno Fernandes. I'm not getting Salah or Mane mainly because you never know. Like it's either one of them who's always in form. So I would like to see for the first 2 game weeks to see who kicks it off, and probably try getting them in. So yeah, that's my team.
I like how you saved 2.5 million, for emergency. You used to do that before for Aguero Silva, right? You used to save money.
I used to never do it for Aguero because I always find Aguero like a pointless but David Silva, yeah. I used to. Aguero has hurt me a lot in FPL. So hopefully this Salah Mane not keeping them in the team does not backfire on me for game week 1. All right, let's move to our next phase. Sairam will basically go through that with us. Sai.
Yeah, so let me take over screen sharing now. So guys, what I've done is I've actually just plotted everybody's 15 on the sheet. The intention of this is to figure out the most popular picks amongst our 6 and draft them directly into the goal difference FPL team. And for the rest, wherever we do not have many popular choices in terms of the defenders and midfielders and forwards, we'll probably just take a vote and finish our team off.
Okay, perfect. So let's first start out with the first vote. What is the formation that you guys want to play? Let's start with Abhinav. Abhinav, what is the formation you want to see your team to see this team in?
4-4-2.
4-4-2. Okay. That means that we would need to have 4 defenders who are playing every game and who we know who have a clean sheet opportunity for sure. right?
Then it's also situational. Like I cannot
Fair
say
enough.
that
No,
we'll
I'm
have
just
4-4-2 every single game week, but conceptually 4-4-2 is the preferred formation.
okay. After that, Arjun.
I'd go for a 4-4-2 as well, as of now, because I have big hitting midfielders and two proper strikers, and I've bench filled my third striker with Davis, so that's why I would go into the 4-4-2. And I'd like one balance in defense with Doherty and Egan instead of one for a
Okay. Okay. No. So we're actually talking about the formation you would want to see in the goal difference team, not your team.
No,
I'm
I would
sorry.
want to see the goal difference team with formation would also be in a 4-4-2.
Perfect. All right. So I was just kind of clear that up. All right. That's fine. Ashish. Well,
Yeah, I would like to go for two forwards for sure. So either 3-5-2 or 4-4-2 because I think this season is going to be more of a midfield heavy sort of. There are many
fair
options
enough,
there basically.
but bro, you need to choose
4-4-2.
one.
4-4-2. If I have to choose one, 4-4-2.
Sumit, you go.
No, Sai's next.
Yeah,
Sai?
I said 4-4-2.
Okay, Sai Mal said 4-4-2.
Okay, got it. So for me, I think for me it's 3-4-3. Given that forwards and midfielders are going to be bringing in the maximum points for any team, I always prefer 3-4-3.
Okay. Sriram, you're next. What would you want to go for?
So mine is slightly, I have a different take. I would like to go with 4-5-1. With Kane,
Okay.
I would like to play all the midfielders in an ideal scenario when every team plays in a specific game week. I would like to play all five of them because Aubameyang is anyways a striker by nature. So I think all five of them have good potential to give points. So as a focal point, I would just like to have Kane as a striker.
Okay. All right. I would also would like to go for 3-4-3 mainly because I would like to stick with stick and forget kind of defenders where, for example, like a Trent and Doherty and a third defender which I can rotate with the other two filler defenders, ensuring that I'm getting 6 points assists for sure. And then this put rest of the money on midfielders and forwards. That would have been my go-to strategy for the season, looking at how everybody has been priced and everything. But anyway, from what I can see, I think 4-4-2 is the majority of the. That's not a date, bro. It's just a formation. Yeah, so 4-4-2 is the majority. So I guess our goal difference team would be formed on 4-4-2. Okay. So I guess let's start off by. So how do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to start filling up defenders first, or do you guys want to start filling up midfielders and forwards first?
Let's do defense.
Yeah, let's go from defense to forwards.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so defender, the third defender. Abhinav, what would be a third defender pick?
Surely a Sheffield defender. So Egan would fit it.
Okay, but okay, fair enough. Egan, all right. Arun.
I'd go for Egan as well. I cannot find a cut price Sheffield defender yet, like Ryan Bennett of Wolves 2 years ago. So I'd go for Egan as well.
Okay, Ashish.
Yeah, I think Egan for me too.
Oh wow, this is already like a majority. With three.
Yeah. So even I was going to choose Egan anyway.
Sheffield defense.
Okay, so if since we already have 4 Egan, might as well just put Egan back in. So that's a good thing. The way to go.
What's Egan's value? 5, right?
He's 5.
Yes, Egan is
Yeah,
5.
let's add up and see what we have.
Perfect. Okay. Defender 4. Sriram.
Defender 4, I would actually, initially, I would be very honest, I went with Walker Peters. I thought he's going to be a starter for Southampton, and I genuinely feel he's a very good signing. And Southampton play that sort of a game where the fullbacks will give assists. So I think Walker Peters is a good option as a fourth defender.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, am I talking about the fifth? Yeah, I'm talking about the fifth. It's my bad. So fourth, I would.
It could be fourth, fifth, anything. It doesn't matter. It could be fourth.
Yeah, I would go with Walker
Your fourth
Peters.
defender could also be. Yeah, fine. That's cool. All right. Okay. Okay. So my fourth defender, honestly, I'm very surprised that none of you have gone for Trent. I really want Trent in the team because I feel that the Trent is like an auto select. Like you have Trent Doherty, you just need to select the other two defenders, and you don't have to look back at whether Trent is facing a United or Trent is facing a City, because you can expect points for him. So my fourth defender would be Trent. Sai.
Actually, I'm still thinking. Can you go to someone else?
Yeah, sure. Arun.
Okay, I would like to go for Lascelles. He switches well with Vinagre. So Lascelles' third game and Vinagre's third game can easily be switched. I like to play with combination defenders, so I go for Lascelles. He's good at home and he's consistent and he's the captain of Newcastle. So that's why I'm on for him.
Okay. Okay. Abhinav.
Lascelles would be my option too, or a Burnley defender. I understand Burnley don't play game week 1, but we all know Burnley are very, very defensively oriented, and Charlie Taylor is kind of settled in his position as their first choice left back last year, and he did give some attacking returns too. So my choice would be Charlie.
Okay. Ashish. Maz.
I like so I would love to take Trent. The problem is just the rounding off of the entire squad. So just looking at that, I would prefer Walker Peters. So the choice for me would have been between Doherty and Trent, but that's already done. So I'll just go for Walker Peters because he's a fullback and Southampton play attacking.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I think
so
my
as of now,
reasons are same as Ashish's, where I was torn between Trent and Doherty, and I decided to go with Doherty just because of their 1.5 additional value that I'll be getting. Given that we have already chosen Doherty, I don't think there is room for Trent. Although I know that is a fairly obvious choice, and it would be a horrendous mistake to leave Trent out of this game.
Fine. So I guess Walker Peters is the majority in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Defender 5. Abhinav.
Mitchell, because we would ideally not want a fifth defender to be too expensive considering the budget that we have. So I would go for Mitchell, and we might see, depending on how Palace play, we can even probably give him a game as well. But for now, I would keep Mitchell at my
Okay. Sai.
I would go for Douglas because I want a 4 million defender over here. I'm not going to invest. I don't want to invest any amount more than 4 million.
Even Mitchell is a 4 million defender.
Yeah. So I'll tell you why I chose Douglas. That's because Douglas is chosen by 16% of the other FPL managers. That's
Okay. Fair enough. Arun.
I'm going for Mitchell. I know, as Sai's point is he's chosen by lesser teams, but I go for Mitchell. He's going to start, and he's got good fixtures at the start of the season, and I'm going attack heavy, so I want my defense to be cheap. I've gone for Doherty and Egan. So, I mean, my last defender has to be cheap so that I can accommodate proper attack. That's why I'm going for Mitchell, Tyreek Mitchell from Palace.
Okay. Understood. Sriram.
Yeah, I mean, I would stick to the defender that I have chosen, which is La Merchant. I think he's, as I said, he's an experienced Premier League centre back, and I feel he would do a good, solid job for Fulham. So I would stick with him.
I know he might do a good solid job for Fulham, but will Fulham be able to keep clean sheets? Because we need 6 points from him, right?
I agree, but I mean, as I said, he's not. I don't think he's going to start a lot of games for me. It's only when the situation gets that bad when I'm going to start him. Otherwise, I don't see him start a lot of games for me. So I have a fixed set of centre backs who will be starting most of the games.
Okay, fine. Okay, so me personally, with what I'm seeing right now, all right, we're playing 4-4-2. So I'm assuming Doherty, Kyle Walker, Peters are two fixed defenders who are going to play every game because of the fixtures that they have. My the fifth defender, I would actually again go back to Trent or someone like a Taylor, because we know they can be the third defender fixed, alongside Doherty and Walker Peters and ensure those 6 points, because right now the way I look at it, I feel rotation is going to be really hard because between the other three options that we have. So with the budget shot that we have, I would obviously go for Taylor as my fifth defender. Mulls,
Okay.
what do you think?
I would go for Mitchell simply because I want a 4 million defender. Crystal Palace are a defensive side, like a Roy Hodgson side. I think sets up to get clean sheets. So even if I ever have to choose him, I think there's a good chance he gets a clean sheet as long as the fixture is versus
Okay.
a Douglas who's in a promoted Leeds side. And I don't really know how Bielsa is going to approach the Premier League. So till I see how they set up, I don't want to take a chance.
Understood. Makes sense. So I guess Mitchell has been the standout vote in this.
Yes.
$4 million. So Sai, how much do you have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 players to draft.
We have 4 players and 27.5 left.
Okay. Since we're doing 4-4-2, I'm assuming that our third forward is going to be like a filler forward, right?
Yeah, at least.
So why don't we just fill that forward up like a 4.5?
Keenan Davis.
Yeah, Davis. If everybody's okay with that, because then that gives us a better idea as to the money that we have left.
Yeah,
Everybody okay with that?
Dylan Davis.
Yeah.
Davis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go with forward 3 as Davis.
And he's 4.5.
Then again, the fifth midfielder also I'm assuming is going to be a filler for us. So
4.5.
let's go with Bissouma.
Yeah, Bissouma is
So-
the most true.
So we have 23 million left, or 18.5 million left.
18.5
All right.
between two players.
Okay. Just FYI, from the midfielder three options, I see Son is anyway the most picked. So I
Yeah,
think we
I
should
was
just
gonna
put
say
Son in. Son just fits into that module itself.
Yes, he does.
So Son is 9 million,
That gives us how much left?
9.5.
Oh, that just gives us perfect amount of money for Werner now.
Timo Werner.
For Timo Werner.
Perfect.
Correct.
The
Correct. That gives us money for
differential.
Timo Werner.
But no. Let's take everybody's opinion because
Okay.
some might want
Yeah.
Richarlison as well.
And Ings.
He was
Okay.
in my
Don't
team
forget
and I
Ings,
just
don't
said
forget
okay.
Ings.
Yeah, or Ings
Okay,
is
so Ings. Okay. So Arun, who's your pick?
I'm going for Werner. As I mentioned earlier, he is going to be scoring at least 170 200 points in his first season, and I'm basically going for him because of his fixtures. His fixtures are easy. He scored in preseason. He scored for Germany against Spain as well. So he would be a perfect fit right now to
Do you,
get
thi-
into the team.
do you think he's had enough time to understand the Lampard's philosophy and has he settled in? And do you think he's settled in the Premier League quickly? Because he's playing the Premier League for the first time, right? I mean, and the Premier League is more physical and faster, I would say, as compared to the German league, the Bundesliga.
German league is fast as well. They're fast
But not
as
as
well. Maybe
physical.
Not as physical, but they are fast. And Werner had a very good season. Only I think Robert Lewandowski performed better than him in forwards in Germany. So I
Okay.
think he would be the go-to option right now. He's the man in form as
And
well.
you think he'll be able to physically adapt? Because
would
I think
be.
physically it's where it's the main issue, I
He's
see.
been training since he came early. He came early for training as well. He didn't play the Champions League for Leipzig too. So he's been training with us for a long time, I guess. So I think that should give us an idea of how he would fit in. I know Ings has been proven Premier League striker last season, but I'd still go for him. He's playing for a better
Okay.
team. With
Sounds
the
good, sounds
signings that we made, I think Timo Werner will get better service than Ings.
All right.
I think for the same reason, I'm going to be choosing Werner. He has Ziyech, he has Pulisic, now he has Kai Havertz behind him. There is no way he's not going to get the service. And if he does get the service, he's just going to rip the Premier League to shreds. I know it's probably going to blow up in my face if it doesn't happen, but I generally think there's a big potential over here.
Yeah,
This
talking
session
about
is
Kai
being
Ha-
recorded.
talking about Kai Havertz,
Yeah.
Sai, how come you don't have Kai Havertz in your team? I thought you would have Kai Havertz as one of your FPL choices. I'm very surprised. You were excited about him
Yeah,
so much.
because I decided to be FPL objective, and there was no point
No, but-
putting in Kai Havertz without knowing where he would play.
I'm assuming he's going to play behind Timo, right?
I don't know
Pulisic
because
and-
he does come in from the left as well, and he plays in a variety of roles. He can play as a second striker as well. He can play as an attacking mid. He can play from the right. He can play a bit deeper. So I'm not too sure where he's going to play right now. And yeah,
Oh,
obviously I'm not going to let emotions
actually
control
in the
my.
Chelsea in the Chelsea team, I look at Kai Havertz playing as a number 10, Pulisic on the left and Ziyech on the right. So I think he will play in the number 10 playmaker role. I think he will have a great impact on the team and he will give a lot of assists and score goals as
Yeah,
well.
that is true. That is very true.
His price is out though. It's 8.5 million. So
Yeah.
Oh,
we can consider him
interesting.
later. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's 8.5
Interesting.
million.
Okay. So
As
Srikanth,
for the forwards, I think Danny Ings. I mean, I would be very tempted to go for Werner, but I think Danny Ings will have a better impact because of the season. He's had a brilliant season last season. He scored 21 goals, I think, and he knows the Premier League now. And the initial fixtures are also on Southampton side, so I think Danny Ings would be my pick. I mean, I was there. I was in a dilemma whether to pick Werner or Ings, but out of the two, I think Ings for now
okay,
stands out.
okay, makes sense. Abhinav,
I would actually stick with my original pick. I think Raul Jimenez is Premier League proven, and barring probably, if you see his first few fixtures, barring probably a City home in game week 2, he also has a very favorable set of fixtures. Wolves play attacking football, and also considering this is the team we have, and we have not gone for United and City players. I'm pretty sure we're going to slot in De Bruyne very, very soon. So that will give us some cash as well to upgrade uh, Jimenez to Werner or Kane to Werner, etc. So I would still go with Jimenez. He has a Sheffield game week 1, and then after that he has easier fixture. So I would stick with my choice.
one of the reasons why I didn't consider Jimenez right now is because one, they've lost Doherty. Second, they don't have Johnny. Johnny's injured, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Johnny is out.
They don't have Johnny. So there's a lot of like the team isn't balanced right. Like,
And let's not forget they've signed a new striker now.
yeah, they have, but he's 18 years, so he's not going to get first team action. But the point is, like, they have Adama. So who is the right back? Is Adama going to be a right back? Like, there is a lot of permutation combinations that are going to happen, and they haven't been really active in the transfer market. So I don't know how they're going to, play on. And like how Abhinav said, the first fixture is Sheffield, who are anyway always tight in the defense. In the third game week, I think they're playing Man City. So I just feel it's too early for Jimenez. Yes, he's proven for 8.5. He always gives you like at least a goal a game, which is a pretty decent just for an FPL forward. But I just feel it's too risky to take him right now. So that's why I would not, consider Jimenez. But fair enough, Jimenez is also a decent choice.
And this will also give us flexibility to buy and not, make too many transfers. Like this is our team for game week 1. We need to obviously accommodate De Bruyne and Fernandes is probably in the coming game.
Moving on, Ashish, what's your forward option?
Yeah, well, the option for me would be between Timo Werner or Jamie Vardy, actually, by downgrading from Egan to a Lascelles. Like, we're just thinking about that budget. We can also adjust it and actually take someone else in defense to accommodate a better striker, proven in the Premier League. With Werner, the only reason I'd be a bit hesitant is that it's not about him signing because he has come a while ago. He's had time to train. It's about the 7-8 other signings that have to be accommodated as well. And it's about how all of them are going to be gelling together. I'm sure Timo Werner is going to be a great signing eventually. But at the start, I'd be a bit scared. So I'd rather propose, I know this is a bit complicated, but if we can take Vardy and Lascelles instead, with Leicester's run especially, it may prove to be a better option, at least for the start. Maybe see how Werner starts and how Chelsea starts. That's
okay. Okay, so I'm going with Timo Werner as well because honestly, if United were playing game week 1, I would have gone with Martial. All right, because I just feel United with the attacking progress that we have, it should have been Martial up front. But unfortunately, United aren't playing, so I'm going to start off with Timo Werner. I don't like any of the options. Mainly, like Vardy is a good option, but I just feel Brendan Rodgers is like a hit and miss when it comes to his tactics and everything. So I wouldn't go for any Leicester players right now. Ings, I have a personal problem with him. Again, whenever he scores, I don't have him in my team. The moment I take him in my team, he stops scoring. So I just don't. I'm just not taking Ings into my team. Yeah. So yeah, Timo Werner would be my final striker.
Perfect. So this is the final team that we have. I'll tell you the first 11. We have McCarthy on goal, Doherty, Vinagre, Egan, and Walker-Peters as our first 4 defenders. Aubameyang, Salah, Son, and Saint Maximin as our midfielders, with Kane and Werner as the forwards. In the bench, we have Nyland as the keeper, Mitchell the 5th defender, Bissouma as the 5th midfielder, and Davis as the 3rd forward.
Okay, guys, we need to even vote in a captain and vice captain. So quickly, captain votes. Abhinav.
First game of the season, Mo Salah captain, Aubameyang vice captain. Would be
Okay, Arun.
Aubameyang captain. Son or Salah vice captain.
Okay, Ashish. Mals.
Aubameyang captain.
I'm not
Salah
used to
vice
calling him
captain.
Ashish.
You can call me Maz, it's fine.
Sai.
I think Salah captain just because he plays newly promoted team.
Okay, Sriram.
I have Salah as the captain and Aubameyang as a vice captain.
Okay, so it's already majority. I guess Aubameyang is captain if I'm not wrong. With Salah.
No,
being
I
vice
think
captain.
Salah is captain.
Salah is captain. Okay,
I think
fine.
more people said
So
Salah.
I personally would have captained Timo Werner and vice captain Mohamed Salah because I just feel it would be a good differential to get us off to. But fair enough. Like Salah is the majority, so Salah becomes
Well,
captain.
that's the
and,
thing, right? If Salah goes berserk, everyone has him captain. You don't want to be 40 points down.
Yeah, which is
good point.
completely
20 points down.
understandable.
Sorry, if Tech Salah goes like probably
I think
3
Aubameyang
goals.
should be a vice captain, sir. He will be vice
Yeah,
captain.
Aubameyang will become vice captain. So. All right, sir.
Also, I'd just like to point out a note. Please keep your eyes on the price of the 4 million cheap options of the percentage chosen because a high percentage of people are going to take Nyland, and once Heaton is back, his price is going to drop down to 3.9. So that's for something later, but just note it down and keep what I say.
Right now, I feel this is going to be a team for Game Week 1, unless and until there are any injuries or maybe if Sancho joins or if Thiago joins Liverpool, maybe we would want to tweak it. Otherwise, this is what we're going to start off with Game Week 1. So I guess, guys, this is our team. We won't be transferring this to the official FPL page as of now. We will just show it post Game Week 1 with the points. But this is what our team is going to be. So if you guys highlight the starting 11 so that, it kind of shows out what's our starting 11 going to be. Yeah. All right, guys. I guess this is where we sign off. If you guys want us to participate in your own public mini leagues or head-to-head leagues, please do share us your code. We will join them. We would like to compete and see how well 6 to 7 minds do better than 1 mind. Let's hope that we do much better as we have done individually, or else this is going to be really embarrassing for all of us. But hopefully we, do a good job.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. This was great.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you at Game Week 2. So, see you.